Good morning. Today is Sunday, August 11th, 2024. And this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast. I'm looking at where Bitcoin went in the last week and where it could potentially go in the future. So this is the second week in August, pretty much. And it was very interesting to start out the week. You had what they call Black Monday again on August 5th. That was the Monday coming out of the gates. Really, I mean, price was dropping even over the weekend from Saturday and Sunday of last week going into Monday. Price was dropping and then it just absolutely tanked all the way down to like 50,000 by the end of, basically by the end of the day on Monday. And then it recovered very quickly. And as you can see, it quite literally just came back to the support range. So this was just a major market like flush out, get all that extra liquidity that was to the downside, killed a lot of stop losses for sure. But I mean, congratulations pretty much to anyone who had limit orders at 50,000. That was definitely a good trade for sure because it recovered very quickly and really went right back up to the 60,000 range, which is where kind of your and we'll put the drawings on too, but like I'll show you that pretty much it just came down to the long-term support area and then turned around. But yeah, overall, that's about as good of a reaction to a global market sell-off as you could ask for with crypto. I mean, because really there are other markets like with the Japanese stock market is absolutely tanking right now. A lot of that dealing with the interest rates that they impose and all this other stuff, and we'll talk about that later. But again, a dump before you get another pump. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I think we're in a good spot. Getting on to the weekly chart, as you can see, like we've been in this downward consolidating range. And once I turn on the drawings, you'll see that this was just like in the bull flag pretty much, but we're still there. Like this does not look abnormal to me at all. And as you can see, the week is ending positive after all of that happened between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You even get to Saturday, and now we're at Sunday. And it still ended up positive. So that's incredibly bullish to me. You're seeing a lot of stuff around the world with, I think Morgan Stanley is starting to tell their people, hey, you got to invest in Bitcoin now. I think I saw that article come across. If you looked at it, the ETFs did not really sell anything. They didn't sell anything during this sell-off. I mean, most of the hedge funds did. Most of the smart money basically just stayed put. This was a tactic, I think, to kind of get people off their rocker, but you see it just kind of came back to where it was. Yeah, so looking at this, okay, so really I was telling you, we're still in the bull flag. Like it went up, down, up, and then a huge move down, and then right back into the center of the area. So you have this bull flag, and really, if you look at it, it came right down, tapped this long-term support, and I mean tapped it. And this is going all the way back to 2021. So you have this area from here. It's, there's significance here, significance here, significance here, a rejection here, a pause here. It came down here. So yeah, this is a very, it was resistance and now it's flipped support. So, I mean, that's significant in my mind for it to come down there and tap that. So it just shows how strong that area is around 50,000, I believe it is. Yeah, 50,000 is a very strong level. So we have not made a higher high just yet. So like that is still in the card. So, we had this major dump all the way down from really the end of July to the end of the first week in August. And actually, yeah, so you had this huge reversal. And if you look at it, it's like it went down, okay, consolidated for just a second, and then it just had this massive candle on Thursday. And then calmed down on Friday. It came up to this area. So that could be an area for pause for sure. But outside of that, it doesn't really have too much holding it back. Breaking these highs, I think we'll be at 74,000 and higher before people think, for sure. And once it gets to moving, it doesn't stop. So for me right now, this is not a cause for concern. Like again, there are definitely global things going on in the market, so like you have to be ever vigilant with that. But I still think Bitcoin is in a good position. I was talking about the news earlier. You have countries like Russia who have just fully legalized Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And that's significant because, I mean, they are a major world power for sure. So if they have access to the technology, like it is, it's something that boosts the whole space. It's one of those a rising tide lifts all ships things. What do we have here? So yeah, again, 4-hour chart, major dump. That's pretty much it. I mean, you had this the big thing was a major rally going into Thursday. And then just the consolidation from there. But I think that is a recipe for a continued upward move. So Let's look at the news, see what's coming up for the next week. Not really much. So you have CPI, which is your inflation numbers. That is pretty significant on August 14th. So that's the Wednesday. Early in the morning, we'll see what the inflation was for the last month. They're projecting 3%. And that's year over year. Month over month, they're projecting that it goes up by 0.2%. And then there's, of course, CPI, but most people care about the regular CPI. And then really no news for the rest of the week, like nothing of significance really. But I would say Wednesday morning is going to be a big release for sure. Let's talk about the yen carry trade. So basically, this is one of the things that kind of unraveled on Monday, and it had been going on for I don't know maybe a month before this happened. But the yen carry trade is historically people would borrow Japanese yen, which is very low interest rate, and invest it in U.S. dollars, transfer that to U.S. dollars, and invest it. And that would, it's a higher interest rate for the U.S. dollar, pretty much. So with that, they would do it for a term, get their capital out, and then sell it back for yen. So it was a cycle, pretty much, and basically make their profit there. So I think this was like the 87,000, pretty much. So long story short, it's borrowing a low interest rate currency and invested in a high interest rate currency. It was pretty much free money. The only thing is there are only certain conditions under which this can happen. So let's go back here. So it's USD JPY. If I look at this on a monthly basis, you can have the yen carry trade as long as the yen and the Japanese yen and the US dollar are consolidating, or they are going up. When they go down in periods like this, like 2022, and I guess like these last 2 months, that's significant because like the reverse does not work as well. Japan actually, the Bank of Japan pretty much ended up hiking their interest rates by 0.1%, and it sent ripples throughout the global economy for sure. So we're very much so more connected than we've ever been before, and it's something to look out for. But yeah, that's where a lot of this volatility came from in the last week, among other things too. You have rumors of war in Iran and all that type of stuff. So it's a lot going on. Bitcoin cycles. Mike put this in the Discord the other day. Shout out to Mike. This is a pretty good graphic, pretty much. So it's like you can see that these things follow very predictable cycles. And right now we're in the portion where it's pretty boring. It got boring here, it got boring here, it got boring here. This is one way to shake people out of their position is just boredom. If it gets boring, most people will leave it alone pretty much. But then right after that, it goes galactic. And time after time after time. Now, if it just doesn't happen this time, hey, we got to take the L. But if I am looking to make a prediction, it's probably going to do the exact same thing that it's already done 3 times over the last 15 years. So we'll see. Time will tell. Looking at the ETF, not really too much action, honestly. I mean, like you can see kind of like this small kind of uptick for sure. And that's going into Friday. I don't know if that's Thursday or Friday, but going into Friday. But at some point we will see movement like this again, to where the ETFs are actually getting pushed onto different retirement funds and stuff like that. So we'll see. The other thing that we have to look at is the hash rate for the miners, pretty much. So the miners, the hash rate pretty much is how much computer power are they using at any point. So there's a couple things here. So the green is the Bitcoin price. The 30-day moving average is the blue line, and the purple is the 60-day moving average. So anytime the 30 is above the 60, that means the hash rate is increasing, and mining is going very well. Once that line crosses under and that flips, well, it's a signal pretty much that it's going the other way. So where do we look like at where we're at now? So this is like pretty much the start of this bull run. So if I look here, you had capitulation here. If I zoom in, so you see this blue line crossed under. Same way over here. If I'm looking over at the very right, we just went through one of the longest periods of capitulation from what was this? I cannot see the date. Anyway, like this is a pretty long period of consolidation that we had here. So we've just come out of it though. So once you come out of a period of consolidation, prices tend to fly, as we've seen here. So you consolidate, you drop for a little bit, and then prices just take off. Same way here. You've consolidated pretty much. We got out of capitulation, prices take off. until they don't anymore. But it's interesting to see that pattern that it plays out. So is that it? I think that's it. I don't really have too much else to talk about this week. So the plan is the same plan that it always has been. Hold what you got. I believe memes and altcoins are going to rule this cycle for sure. There will be some utility coins as well and legacy coins that do great, but I think that's really where we're at. We do talk about that more in the Discord and whatnot, and I think I'm going to start talking more about altcoins in that space too. I've been in several of them, and I'm familiar with the space, so I think I'm going to start doing some type of segment about that as well. So again, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Check out any crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com. Join the Pulse on Crypto Discord, and I will see y'all on the moon. Take care. Bye-bye.